Hello and howdy, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. It's your host, Root Beer, and we are looking at question number 23 on the 2006 Fermat paper. So this is the grade 11 multiple choice contest. Let's take a look at question 23. Rectangle TEHF has dimensions 13 by 30. We've got that shown here. Tom the cat begins at T, and Jerry the mouse begins at J, the midpoint of T and E. Alright, Jerry runs at 3 meters per second in a straight line towards H. Tom starts at the same time as Jerry and running at 5 meters per second in a straight line arrives at point C at the same time as Jerry. Interesting. The time in seconds that it takes Tom to catch Jerry, so the time it takes for them to both meet at C, is closest to 2. Alrighty. What are we to do? Well, can't think of anything immediately, so I'm going to draw the picture and see if anything comes to mind. So H, T, J, E, I think this was F. Yes, it was. Alright, so Jerry heads up here. This is a 15, 50, because J is the midpoint, right? We got 15 here, 30 overall here. Then we get this point here, and I don't quite know where C is. I think once I know where C is, we'll be all set. Now, it's 45 degrees. These two angles are the same, 45, 45. I could figure out the hypotenuse, J to H, but I'm not seeing where that would exactly help me because Jerry doesn't make it to H, so do I really need to know that distance? However, this point C is of interest. Now, I don't know where C is, but I might call this height X. I know this distance here is going to be X. And then I know this full thing here is 15 plus X. So in terms of X, I can figure out the length JC. It's going to be the hypotenuse of X and X, but I can also figure out TC because I've got another right angle triangle. So I can get these distances. Now, since they meet at the same time, so let T, I think T is what we're trying to solve for, right? Let T be the time in seconds that we're looking for. So T times 5 meters per second has got to be equal to the length TC. And T times 3 meters per second has got to be equal to the length JC. So really, ignoring the units, we got 5T and 3T. And I can relate them both to X. 2 equations, 2 unknowns, I should be able to solve in theory. So 5T squared is going to be X squared plus 15 plus X squared. So this is the TC, I don't know, let's call this not X, Y, point Y here. So TCY, right angle triangle. And we also have 3T squared should be X squared plus X squared. Both of these equations are going to have X squareds. I'll expand the first equation. 25T squared is X squared plus X squared plus 15 squared is 225 plus 30X. And then we've got 9T squared is equal to X squared plus X squared. So this equation, I can replace the X squared plus X squared with 9T squared. And so I get 25T squared is 9T squared is equal to 225 plus 30X. So 16T squared is 225 plus 30x. I don't know as this has helped me in any particular way. Yeah, now I have one equation and two unknowns. So am I missing a piece of information, or am I just not working with the information that I do have in the correct way? I don't think I can get x on its own. So 225 plus 30x is equal to 16t squared. Well, okay, let's talk about this equation here. 2t squared, or 9t squared is 2x squared. And t and x are both going to have to be greater than or equal to 0. So t is going to be 3t, square rooting both sides. 3t is going to be root 2x. So x is going to be 3 over root 2t, and I can plug that in here as well. So 16t squared is 225 plus 33 over root 2t. Now I have a single equation in t. It's quadratic. I should get one root, and that should be a positive root. So we're just going to copy this and rearrange it. So 16t squared minus 3 times 30 is 90 over root 2. I can actually divide by a root 2, so we're going to say 45 root 2 here. 2t, and I think it should be minus. Yeah, minus 225. Alright. So this doesn't easily factor that I can see. I mean, there might be people out there who can factor better than I can, but when in doubt, quadratic formula. So t equals negative b plus or minus the square root b squared. So that's going to be 2 times 45 squared. I'm going to grab my calculator here. 45 squared is 2025 times 2 is going to be 4050 b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Alright, so there's a lot to unpack under the square root sign in the discriminant. 4050, and now it'll be plus 4 times 16 is 64 times 225 is 14,400. I'm hoping these numbers play nice with each other. So we'll add on the 4050. And it doesn't look like they are going to play nice. 18450. That isn't a square. But what can I do about it? See, if I divide by 2, is it a square? No. 18450 divide by 2. I can divide by 25. 369, I can divide by a 9 there. So I'm going to get 45 root 2 plus or minus 3 times, so 15. Times root 82, I think. I'm just going to double check that. 15 squared times 82 Yeah, okay. So, what can we do? I think we'll just double check here. Yeah, we're going to have a positive one. We don't need the negative one here. So 45 root 2 plus 15 root 82 all over 32. 15 root 2 can come out of there, so we'll have 3 plus root 41. That doesn't really help. I just felt like taking those out. So this should be my t value. Should be. It hasn't been the nicest set of numbers, so I'm inclined to double check my work after I'm done here. But this should be our answer. Alright, so we'll just quickly calculate it. 3 plus square root of 41 multiplied by 15 multiplied by the square root of 2 divided by 32, and I get approximately 6.233. I think we had everything to one decimal place, so I'm going to say 6.2. Is that one of the answers? Oh, it is. Okay, well, that's at least good. So E, I think, is the answer. But I'm going to double check because just root 41 usually doesn't appear in a lot of equations when I do these contests, so we're just going to double check the reasoning. So J, halfway point, 15 there. Drop a perpendicular, you get two right angle triangles. 5t is one distance, 3t is another distance. I did have those speeds, correct? Right? Jerry is 3, so that's 3t, and Tom is 5, so that's 5t. Okay. So 5t, 3t are those hypotenuses. We can get everything in terms of x. Plug in the 9t squared there. Yes, that's all well and good. Needed an extra piece of information. I did expand this, right? 225 and then 2 times 15. Yeah, 30. Okay. Extra piece of information we got from here. We solved for x in terms of t. Plugged that in. Got a quadratic with a square root 2, which always makes me a little nervous. I did solve for that, right? 3t root 2x. Yep. Okay, so plug that in. 3 over root 2 times 30 is 90 over root 2. 45 times 2 over root 2, 45 root 2. It is subtracted, that one's subtracted, and then the quadratic formula takes us away. Okay. I double-checked my work. I'm more confident the answer is 6.2. I'm just glad that when I worked it out first time, I did get one of the possible answers. That's always something that really sort of, I don't know, bums you out, depresses you a little bit. When you do a lengthy calculation and you think, oh, geez, please let this work, please let this be one of the answers, and you look at your 5 answers and you don't have it, you have to slog all the way back through. Is my reasoning correct? Did I make an arithmetic mistake? It drags the whole contest to a halt. So I'm really glad that I did at least get an answer. Even if it's not the right answer, it's better than having had nothing that matches up and then having to double check as well. I still would have double checked. I mean, I did still double check even though I got something that looked like a potential answer. Just because the root 41 makes me a little nervous. And as you practice more of these contests, you'll find what numbers and what calculations and what lengthy procedures make you a little nervous and make you want to double check. But there we go, 6.2e, and that was question 23. So we got 2 more to go, 24 and 25. I will see you for 24 on the Fermat in the next video. Thank you for watching, and as always, have yourself a wonderful day.